My tea's gone cold, I'm wondering why I got out of bed at all. The morning rain clouds up my window, and I can't see it all.
I think we lose the ball too often.
The problem is with the ball.
It reminds me that it's not so bad. It's not so bad.
Dear Jim, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. I left my cell, my ex, and my email at the bottom. I sent 2 emails back in autumn. They must have been forgotten. Maybe you were too busy counting all those layoffs or something. It's just frustrating, Jim. This squad is so outdated. Our wingers cross to no one, and all our players are overrated. If I could make a wish, I'd sell them all, no hesitation. Start fresh with players who understand the basics of chance creation. Amarim's got the tactics, but this squad just won't comply. We need January reinforcements, or kiss Europe goodbye. Anyways, I hope you read this and give me a reply soon, because if we keep this up, we'll be relegated by next June. My team's gone cold, I'm wondering why. Got out of bed at all. What's up, YouTube? Thank you so much for joining me once again. Thank you for clicking on the thumbnail. Thank you for being with me. Guys, I wasn't going to make a video today. I was not going to make a video today. I was pissed off. I was sad. I was upset after watching that game. I was all kinds of angry. And I have a lot to get off my chest and unpack today. But you guys got to give me a second. I got to go change out of this silly hat and silly do. I'll be right back. I'm back. Guys, I did not want to make this video, but you guys have supported me so much in the last 48 hours that I felt like I owed it to you. Honestly, I wasn't going to make this video because I'm not in a good mood. I'm not happy. I thought if I did something silly like that little skit I just did with the Stan rap, that it would put me in a better mood. It would put me in a lighter place so I can give you guys like the best of me, if you will. But honestly, I'm just not in a good place. Not the way the team played. Like the way this team played, it's disgusting. It's really bad. And it goes from Bruno, our captain, all the way down to everybody. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that anyone had a good game because no one did. Even the ones that were technically sound today still didn't do the tactical things that I'm looking for. Guys, if you're new to this channel, you didn't watch my last video, go back and watch my last video. I'll try to put the link. I don't know what I'm doing on YouTube. Like, honestly, I'm new to this stuff, so I'll try to put the link somewhere around there if I can figure it out. If I can't figure it out, the link will be in the description of this video. Guys, go and check out my last video if you haven't. We talk about Amarim's tactics. If you're new to this channel, you're going to want to see that video before you might listen to me talk right now and just not know what I'm saying. So I was looking for the diagonal runs. Anybody who saw my last video knows. Hopefully you guys were watching for it too. I did see it. I did see, especially in the beginning of the game, I saw Rasmus make it a couple times and no one passed him the ball. And I saw Bruno try to make it. And then the one who did it the most was whenever the ball was on the left side with Diogo or Bruno, Manu was making that diagonal run. But then when he got the ball, he kind of was in a dead end and he didn't have much to do. He tried to cut back pass, which the other thing we talked about. There were a couple of cutback crosses and passes, actually. And there were a couple of crosses, too, but the crosses still suck. But we did have a couple of cutbacks that also didn't really lead to, like, crazy chances or anything like that, but they were there. You can start to see that that's happening, but it was just awful. It wasn't good. It was really bad. It was like a bunch of amateurs trying to run Amarim's tactics. And after the game, Amarim said that we need to be more aggressive in the final third. I think that's him just saying, like, we need to take more chances. We need to make more runs because, honestly, the runs were not there for majority of the game. Even though I just said some of the runs were happening, honestly, I saw it maybe 7 times in the entire game, and I should be seeing it about 10 times a half, not 7 times a game. I should see it 20 times a game. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad by everyone. No one gets a pass. Mazraoui made some bad decisions. Ahmad didn't make the run whenever the ball was on his side, or he was in the wrong position that he couldn't even make the run because he wasn't on the inside so he can run out. He was already outside, and he couldn't really run in because Rasmus was there. So both of them are just standing there like no one can make the run. So it's just stale. There's not enough movement. Anyways, I'm not blaming Ahmad. I'm not blaming Manu or any of these young guys. The thing about the young guys, before I go on, The young guys need to be in an environment where they can be nurtured so they can reach their ceiling, so they can reach their potential. These young guys like Ahmad, who is undoubtedly, if not our best player, one of our 3 best players on our squad right now, he's never going to reach his ceiling or reach his potential if that's the case. Because at his age, at his experience level, he shouldn't be one of our best players. He should be surrounded by players who are going to help groom him, help show him the way, and give him like when he's sitting on the bench, okay? When he's sitting on the bench, he should be able to see the person playing his position and learn from that person. It should be like a role model for him to watch. Gary Neville used to say that when he was young, he would sit on the bench and he would watch the starting right back, and he would learn so that one day he could replace that person. And he would just take in all the right back's movements, decisions, everything else, so he can learn how to play that role. Can you guys tell me that Menu or Ahmad or any young player, Garnacho, can sit on the bench and look at someone who's starting in front of them and learn from them? Anything positive? Anything that's going to help them become reach their potential, hit their ceiling? No. This is not the kind of environment that young players can thrive and learn in. When Cristiano Ronaldo came to our squad, our team, I remember it really well because I'm older than most of you guys, and I remember Cristiano Ronaldo came. He was fast, and he had all the tricks, but he had no finish to his game. Like his last decision would be a bad one. He would do all kinds of flair moves and cool things, but he would make a bad decision at the end of it, or he would try to force a ball somewhere. Anyway, bad decision, bad pass, a bad finish. And he was surrounded by players like Roy Keane, like all the older guys. They could take. Ruud van Nistelrooy used to yell at him all the time. Ruud used to yell at him all the time. Roy gave him a hard time in his first year a lot of times that I remember. And you could just see by the second season, CR7 was a different player. Cristiano was starting to become a better player, one who makes better decisions, one who wasn't trying all the fancy moves all the time. He was still doing them, but he was doing them at the right moments in the right areas of the field so that he didn't turn over the ball in a dangerous spot. And he just got better. But these guys, who's telling them how to get better? And when those guys are telling them how to get better, how long do you think these guys are going to listen to whoever's telling them when they can look at whoever's telling them and go, why are you yelling at me? You're the one who just got a red card. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. Everybody knows. Bruno got a red card, acted like an idiot today. His passion gets the best of him, and he makes dumb decisions all the time. I get it. But, by the way, on the last video, people had the nerve to comment and say that I shouldn't be saying things like Bruno's world class. I never said he was world class. If you're here watching the guy who commented and told me that I can't believe people like you try to make us believe that Bruno's world class, I never said that. I even said that I would take a replacement if it was better than Bruno, but Bruno's the best we got. Bruno's the best we got. Don't even get it twisted. Bruno is the best chance creator we got. So we're gonna ride that horse because it's the only horse we have that looks for good passes in the final third, even though most of them are wasteful. But still, by Premier League standards, even though he's having a bad season this season, he still has one of the highest chance creation stats of all of the Premier League, probably all of Europe. He's in the top 5. So, yeah, we could all get mad at him. He is wasteful. He makes all kinds of mistakes, but he's the best we've got. So, it is what it is. Until we recruit better, that's who we have. That's our horse. We got to ride our horse. Anyways, back on topic. Recruitments. We need to recruit, and we need to start in January. My fear is that these guys, when I say these guys, I'm talking about Ineos now. My fear is that Ineos isn't going to do it because of financial issues, because they're not. My problem is this. When they made this deal with the Glazers and they decided to take part in the ownership of this club, did they not assess the situation and realize that this squad needs a major overhaul and that it wasn't going to be cheap? If they didn't, and then we also need a new stadium, and that's not going to be cheap. So they should have known, hey, this is going to be $1 billion investment in all, more if you count the stadium. But let's say they can figure out ways to get creative funding to build that stadium or something of that nature. They still would have to go out of pocket close to $500 million to $1 billion. That is not to buy shares. Listen to me and make it clear that you're listening to me. There are other YouTube channels, one guy in particular who loves to stand up for Ineos all the time. And he'll say things like, Ineos have put in money in the club, the Glazers have not. Ineos have not. Ineos have bought shares with their money. This dude makes it sound like Ineos have like put in money to help the club. They haven't. They put in money to buy shares to make their like holdings grow. That's it. They didn't put money. It's not like they went, oh, and here's some money for you guys to buy players. That's not how it works. They went, here's some money, give me shares. They invested for themselves. They didn't invest for players. So I don't want to hear anything about Ineos put in money. The Glazers did not. That's not how it works. They're buying something with their money. They're buying shares. Anyways, I just want to clear that up because some people out there are making it sound like Ineos are, dumping money in the club, which is way more than the Glazers ever did. We'll see about that. The jury's still out on that. You can't say that yet because so far they're doing it for themselves, for their own shares, for their portfolio to grow. It's not for, I haven't seen it for the club because all I keep hearing is that we have FFP issues. You want Ineos to put in money for the club? Have Ineos pay off our debt. That'd be great. Let's do it. Let's pay off our debt so we don't have any more FFP issues and we can spend willy-nilly. Let's do it. Nope, that's not going to happen, guys. Ineos puts in money for themselves. Don't get it twisted. And to be honest with you, you're going to hate when I say this, but I need you to clear your mind, get out of your feels, and listen to the logic behind what I'm about to say. Because I hate the Glazers. I hate the Glazers. But with that said, I'm happy the Glazers are the majority shareholder in this situation because Ineos is in a situation where they came in as partners and our team's in 14th place. Our team is slowly going down into the relegation spots, which means if the problem isn't the manager, because I don't think the problem is the manager, I think anybody with any kind of footballing knowledge would tell you the problem is not the manager. Now, they let this manager, and I'm sure they're okay with it, get rid of Marcus Rashford, which I'm not saying I disagree with. Actually, there's a lot of people who are like negatively like coming out on Amarin and saying things like, oh, maybe he shouldn't have let Marcus Rashford go or blah, blah, blah. Maybe he shouldn't sit out Marcus Rashford. Dude, Marcus Rashford wasn't going to change a thing. But that's not how the Glazers think. That's where I'm getting at. It's not me. Believe me, I'm okay with whatever Amarin decides. The Glazers are going to think, okay, you hired a manager who's going to sit out our best player, our man, and now we're in 14th place. This has got to put a whole bunch of pressure on Ineos to deliver, to turn things around in the January transfer window. I'm telling you, I hate to say it, but the Glazers being there, the Glazers existing right now, and Ineos not being the only shareholders or the main shareholders is probably a good thing because Ineos now has to do something. So I don't give a shit about this FFP talk and how we don't have money to spend. Ineos got to pull a rabbit out of the hat. They got to pull something out of their ass. They got to make something happen. They got to make some moves happen, and they got to recruit at least 2 players for this manager to try to have a chance to turn things around for the second half of the season so we're not in a relegation battle. Yes, I said it. I don't care if you get mad because I'm just using logic. This isn't me saying, like, I'm so glad the Glazers own us. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying because of the way this partnership works and because of the way their deal works, Ineos definitely has pressure to turn things around, so they got to find a way to get some money together to bring in 2 players that we need. Now, my problem is that going to be in like creative, getting players in that aren't great? Let's just put it that way. That aren't great, that are good, but not great. Better than what we have, but not great. I'm sick of not great. When Sir Alex Ferguson was here, we would get the best of the best. He would get the best attacking midfielder. If we needed an attacking midfielder, he'd get the best attacking midfielder in the Premier League from a rival team and bring him over. If we needed a striker, we get Robin Van Persie. We need a striker, we get Van Persie off Arsenal. You see what I'm going with this? Like, we don't get Kirkic. I see a lot of people talking about Kirkic this, Kirkic that. Is Kirkic the best? Is Kirkic close to the... Is Kirkic going to change us by that much? Is Kirkic that much better than Diogo Dalot? And I know Diogo Dalot is playing like crap lately. But is Kirkic that much better than Diogo Dalot? Is he, or is Alphonso Davies? Is Theo Hernandez? Is Federico Di Marco from I think that's his name, from Inter Milan? Kirkic is better than what we have. Yes, Kirkic is better than Diogo Dalot. But is he that much better than Diogo Dalot? That's my question. He is better. But is he leaps and bounds better? Ain't Nuri. I've heard people say we should get Ain't Nuri in. Ain't Nuri, really? Ain't Nuri. You think Ain't Nuri could lace it up for like Real Madrid? We're talking about Ain't Nuri? Could he get a game with Real Madrid? No, I don't think so. No way. No, we need someone strong who can run like an animal and who can cross and who can progress a ball forward. I'm telling you, the three names off the top of my head were those three names. And I'll take Nuno Mendes because he's young too and he already knows the Amorim system. But that guy's strides are strong. That guy's legs are like tree trunks. He strides strong. He's low gravity, low center of gravity. He bulldozes people. So that guy's got, he's got my vote too. Federico Di Marco, I don't know if his last name is Di Marco, from Inter Milan. Theo Hernandez from AC Milan. Alphonso Davies, who David Ornstein says we're no longer interested in him. He must wanted a lot of money or just no way to get him in January, even though he has 6 months left. Maybe Bayern Munich were basically letting us know that they're not going to let him go no matter what, even if we offered $20 million just to get him out of his the last 6 months of his contract. So what do you guys think, by the way? Leave it in the comments. If I'm wrong and you think you want Alvaro Carreras, who used to play for us, look, Alvaro's a good player, but we already got Diego Leon, who's a young left wing back from Paraguay. Do we really want to go sign another young left wing back, even though it's going to be a cheap deal and affordable? Is that how we're going to roll? We're going to get two young guys, no veteran for them to look up to, no role model to learn from. Listen, we play a lot of games, and this manager rotates a lot. So young or veteran, both players are going to get playing time. Both players are going to get playing time. I think Ruben Amorim has made it obvious to us that he's going to rotate a lot and everybody's going to play. Maybe the young one will only get the cup games and maybe a handful of Premier League games, and the veteran will get most of the Premier League games and most of the European games if we're even in Europe next year. But the point is they're going to get playing time. Both of them are. So do we want to get two young ones, or do we want to get one veteran for the young one to learn from? Or one a little bit older. Even Nuno Mendes can be considered a veteran compared to Alvaro Carreras. I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments. I know some of you guys are going to tell me Alvaro this and Alvaro that. Alvaro's so great. His stats are great. Yeah, stats are great. But when you look at him, he's a skinny kid. He's a skinny kid. And what does Ruben keep saying? That we're lacking what? Physicality. Is he going to add physicality to our team, to our squad? He's less physical than Dalot. He's less physical than Diogo Dalot. He maybe adds pace on Dalot and definitely adds technical quality on Dalot. I'll give you that. But technical quality and physicality are two different things, and we need more physical players. We already have a lot of little guys. We do. We have a lot of little guys in our squad. We need stocky, bulky, low center of gravity, just strong guys with strong strides. Hard to push over. How many times did we get pushed over today that the ref didn't even call? That's the Premier League. Some of you guys, including me, sit there and hate the ref and say, like, this ref's against us. But that is the Premier League. It happens all the time. It happens all the time in the Premier League. People bump into each other and fall down. You know it's a foul. It looks like a foul. If we were in La Liga, it would be called a foul. But in the Premier League, it's the refs let it slide. It's just normal. It's a part of the game. So we need bigger guys who aren't going to fall over so easily because we already have the small guys. I don't know. And then other than that, I've already talked about the striker situation. The striker situation needs to be handled this January too. We need a different striker or a number 10. People are saying Cunha. I don't know if you're going to be able to get Cunha out of Wolves this January. I don't think that's happening. I do not think that's happening. And then we're hearing stories about Ederson from Atalanta. I don't think we're going to be able to get him in January either. And by the way, Ederson would be someone that kind of sort of rotates with Ugarte. I'm not sure he plays along Ugarte in so many games. His progressive ball carrying is not that high, and we need someone who can carry the ball from the middle of the field up to the final third. We don't have that. That's supposed to be Mainu, but it's not really happening. It's not really happening. We need somebody who's press resistant and can carry the ball past the first line, like the first person trying to press him, and then open up new passing lanes. And that's not Ederson. Ederson's a great buy. I want Ederson. But Ederson would be coming in as a Casemiro replacement to rotate with Ugarte, not coming in to play alongside Ugarte for most games. He could play alongside Ugarte for some games, but for most games, we need somebody else who's going to progress the ball forward, carry it, dribble it forward. I don't know, guys. I don't know who that is. I haven't thought of it yet, but I am going to make a big video on transfers and who I would like to see next week. I got a couple ideas for that spot that I just talked about, but I don't want to say them on this video. But I am curious what you guys think. Leave it in the comments. As of now, I'm saying I don't know because I'd like to watch more footage of the guys I have an idea of in my head to make sure that they can do it in the Premier League. To be honest with you, it's one guy. I just want to watch a little bit more of him and see if he could do it in the Premier League, because he's not in the Premier League right now. Guys, I'm not in a good mood, but I am going to tell you guys that I need to thank you all for how well the last video did. Guys, I think like 1,000 likes. I don't know. Last I checked, it was like 900 something likes and 17,000 views. Last time I checked, it was 16,800 views on the last video. And we got like 800 new subscribers. So thank you so much. If you're new to this channel and you didn't see that last video, go watch it. It was a great video that covered tactics. I think a lot of people complimented me on it. That's why I'm calling it a great video. I wasn't sure, to be honest, when I posted it up. I was like, I wonder if anybody even cares what I think or what I'm looking for. But it's obvious you guys actually liked it a lot and wanted to see more of that. People were asking me to make more videos just like that one and show more examples of in-game footage. The thing you got to realize is I'm not allowed to do that. Technically, that's a copywritten material, even though I split it up and I only use it for a couple seconds at a time, which makes it allowable because it's educational. But one of you guys commented and said, hey, can you not cut away back to your face and just let us see the footage, which was kind of funny. The way it was worded sounded like, I don't want to see your face. I just want to see the game, which I totally get. I don't want to see my face either. But I can't do that. That's the problem. I can't do that. I can only use the game footage for a second or two at a time, or else it counts as a copyright strike because I'm using it to like show you guys the game instead of using it for educational purposes. So I do apologize. In the future, I will be still doing videos like that, but just realize I can only show 1 or 2 seconds at a time. I cannot show like 5 or 6 seconds. And that's why that is. So sorry about that. But yeah, you'll have to look at my face sometimes. That's it, really. That's it for this video. That is short video, short and sweet. We'll get right to the point. Talk about how we need recruitments, how Sir Jim and Enios have to come through for us. One other thing I'm leaving you with is that Sir Alex Ferguson used to really want to know how players live their lives. So if they had families, if they were married, if they had brothers and sisters and stuff like that before he recruited them to come to Manchester United. He wanted to make sure he liked it when players were married because that means they wouldn't go out and party and, hang out in Belfast drinking. You know what I mean? He loved to play golf, but he didn't like it when his players played golf because golf is addicting and they would be spending too much time on the golf course or the range. It just takes too long to golf and stuff of that nature. Even though he liked golf. So my point is this, he chose players based on character, personality, family traits, lifestyle. We need to do a little bit more of that. We need to get in the right type of players with the right attitude. People who are hungry, people who are dying to come in and work freaking hard, not people looking for a paycheck. People who are dying to work hard. And that's why if we're moving on from Alphonso Davies, because it seems like he's coming in to get a paycheck, no matter how great he is, I'm fine with that. But Alphonso Davies seems to me like a hardworking guy who's got a chip on his shoulder because he's North American And, North American soccer players don't have a great reputation around the world. And North Americans usually have a chip on their shoulders and they want to prove that they belong. That's my feelings on Alphonso Davies. He's never seemed lazy to me. But if they're getting the vibe from their manager that this guy's just in it for a paycheck, then fine, let's not go for him. Because we do need to get in the right characters. We need to get in the right attitude, the right personalities. People, like I said, hungry people. That's why I love that we're growing our South American scouting network, and we're going to start to bring in people from I hope we do. We just got a Paraguayan, so hopefully that is true. Because South Americans players usually grew up in very poor conditions, and they're playing for their life. They're playing for their family's well-being, and that is one hell of a motivator. So I like that, and I want to bring in more hungry guys that come from like these kind of circumstances where they're playing for their lives and they're playing for their families' lives. Not spoiled brats who've been told how great they are their whole life. Guys, thank you very much for joining me once again. Drop a like if you're new to the channel, subscribe, and I will see you soon. I will try to make a video New Year's Day. Yeah, New Year's Day, why not? I'll see you soon, guys.